Rings of Power Season 2 premiered with 3 episodes to watch on day 1. Each episode is at least an hour long, and they are all extremely boring. Like, you know how some people put on podcasts or audiobooks to go to sleep with? Step aside, true crime podcast. Rings of Power is the greatest sleep aid you could ask for. Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Pondering. I am the real-life fake wizard. If this video brings you any value at all, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, where we're posting new videos nearly every day. First impressions on episode 2. This episode could have been half its runtime, and I would feel better about it. I watched the episode yesterday with episode 1, and I actually had to put it on again today to prepare for this video, skipping through it because I genuinely don't remember what happened. Because I don't care. Because it's so boring. Because it's offensively boring. I said in yesterday's review, you can do wonderful films in 90 minutes and excellent TV in 45. Why does each episode here need to be an hour long? There's nothing happening. Go here, talk. Go here, talk. Go here and talk. It's just people talking, but saying nothing. Like, yes, most TV is just people talking in different rooms, but at least the conversations are important. Rings of Power is overstuffed with characters who are talking in this poetic vernacular, but near meaningless and bloated dialogue is happening. The show is written by people who think they're smart, but the impacts of each episode are so small that the experience is rendered a complete waste of time. And apparently, I'm not the only one who thinks so, with IMDb user reviews declining over 50% by the 3rd episode. Meaning that either a few thousand people just decided they didn't care to keep writing reviews, or they're just not watching the next episodes. And I can't blame them if true. I think the worst crime you can make as a filmmaker is boring your audience. They've paid money to see this. They are investing precious time they'll never get back. The least you can do is try to be entertaining. And each Rings of Power episode feels like it's never going to end. Anyway, let's talk about episode 2.
If Baggins loses, we eats it whole.
Fair enough.
Here we find Galadriel having a bad dream. She learns nothing from this and just goes about her business immediately after. Halbrand arrives at Eregion, and Celebrimbor doesn't let him in because he promised Galadriel in season 1 that he would never treat with Halbrand again. And he seems to be the only elf who has not been told that Halbrand is Sauron. Couple things. In episode 1, Gil-galad sends messengers to inform Celebrimbor that Halbrand is Sauron, but the messengers are killed by, I assume, orcs? I don't think it shows us who actually killed them. So Celebrimbor doesn't know. Here's the problem. Those messenger elves are dispatched from Lindon, where the elves are, at the same time Halbrand is being held captive by Adar all the way in Mordor. But we don't get the cutscene where those messengers die until after Halbrand arrives in Eregion. Remember how it took Frodo and Sam 3 complete films to travel from the Shire to Mordor? Traveling in Middle-earth is supposed to have significance. It takes time to get from one place to the next, especially on foot and horseback. They don't have spaceships, they don't time travel. For instance, in the Fellowship of the Ring, when Gandalf leaves for Gondor to discover the truth about the One Ring, there is a huge time gap there. In the books, it's over 17 years that he goes off to research the ring, mostly because it takes a long time to get from place to place. The movie played it off a little quicker with less specific time, but the implication of time passing was very much there. Rings of Power makes the same mistake Star Wars, Star Trek, Game of Thrones' last few seasons make. Time and distance mean nothing. So anyway, Halbrand arrives at Eregion. Celebrimbor says he can't come in, so Halbrand just sits down with his thumb up his ass and waits. We cut to the Moff Nazgul women. They actually report to a dark wizard, and this coven of dark magic users are seemingly in league with, or know of, Sauron's master plan. Which is funny since Halbrand is constantly flying by the seat of his pants, and he just keeps winning because of plot armor and because the script says so. If he does have a master plan, then he has not displayed that to the audience yet. Now, if this is all part of Sauron's master plan, like getting murdered by the orcs, ending up shipwrecked in season 1, just so happening to cross paths with Galadriel. Like, there's no way for all of that to have been intended. And if that is true, and this is all part of my evil master plan, that is going to make things so much worse for this show. It will be an unforgivable mistake. My gift to you, showrunners: make it so that the people in the world think they know Sauron's evil plan, but that is their folly. That is their mistake. They think they're in league with him, that there is this master plan, but there actually isn't. That is still shitty storytelling, but it is the best explanation you could possibly give, okay? Call me the Lord of Gifts. I am the true Anatar. This is my gift to you. So the Dark Wizard wants the Istari, not Gandalf, brought to him, and he hires a bunch of desert stragglers to go capture him. And everything else with not Gandalf feels ridiculously inconsequential. The rest of this episode, here's why. 1, we know that not Gandalf and the Dark Wizard will come face to face based on what the Dark Wizard has said. They're in the same area, one is hunting the other, and not Gandalf is specifically looking for answers. So now you send these desert hunter dudes after not Gandalf, and he evades them. Like, oh boy, you've just prolonged the inevitable and wasted 20 minutes of my lifespan to do it. It's a boringly predictable setup and entirely unsatisfying. The desert dudes attack, not Gandalf uses magic, he can't control it, and the Harfoots get blown away in the uncontrollable magical sandstorm. That's it, we're done with them. Then we cut to Disa and the dwarves of Moria. The mountain is collapsing in places, blocking out the sun from the outside. Disa sings to the mountain to get it to move. That doesn't work. She argues with her father-in-law, the king, and tries to get the father-in-law and her husband to make up, since they're feuding right now. Durin the Younger has a little tantrum and won't make up with Daddy. That's it from the dwarves. See how I'm able to summarize what happens in like 4 or 5 sentences? These episodes shouldn't be this long. To the elves, Gil-galad gives Galadriel, say that 7 times, a new assignment, but uh-oh, Elrond is going to be in command of the task force. Galadriel girl boss is not happy. That's it for the elves. Oh, and Círdan the shipmaster tells Elrond to be nice to his friends. That's it. And we're back to Celebrimbor and Halbrand. Halbrand plays some manipulation games with Celebrimbor and easily convinces him to allow Halbrand into Eregion. They talk some more, they talk some more. Halbrand asks Celebrimbor to make the rings for men. He says no at first. Then Halbrand puts on a wig and theatrical routine and reveals himself to be, I think he even says Maiar, which is basically an angel. Which he actually is. Sauron is a Maiar, and so is Gandalf, and so is Saruman. They are Maiars. Sauron is technically a wizard too, which is why when he takes on the title of Necromancer at certain points, he's not lying. Necromancer means dark wizard, and he is a wizard. So it's not wizard cultural appropriation, which is nice. Anyway, Celebrimbor has a major schoolgirl crush on new Halbrand, who changes his name to Anatar, the Lord of Gifts. End scene. The creators of this show definitely heard the complaints about season 1 and how fans wanted the Anatar version of Sauron and not the Halbrand version. So I'm not surprised they injected it here. I do think, once again, as I've said in previous reviews, the video game version of these characters are extremely compelling compared to the afternoon soap opera versions we're getting in this billion-dollar show. It's insane. There is nothing granting any of the actors in this show like a presence to be there. I don't care what they have to say. I don't care what more they're going to do. I want to say this show is for like degenerate shippers, but like there isn't even much of that in this show to warrant that demographic caring to watch. I don't know, but I still have to watch episode 3. And if I'm being real with you, like keeping it real with you, I don't want to. My friends, I want to thank you for joining me for this Rings of Power review. If you would please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire. May the force be with you. And for the love of God, cancel Disney+. Take care.